Yeah, it says live. I'm gonna tentatively say. I'm gonna tentatively say I am here. So welcome. We're gonna give people a little bit of time to file in. The Discord notification should be going off right around now as well. So just give people a minute or so to funnel in. I don't know what kind of crowd, if any, will show up for a late night Thursday live chat. But I mean, this is ungodly early over across the pond. It's probably a decent time, maybe a decent time in like Australia or something. I don't know. I don't know. I am sure I will have somebody pop in who will let me know at some point. It is 6 p.m. on the Pacific Coast, 9 p.m. on the East Coast, something like 1 or 2 in the morning in England, and then the dateline and whatever, or the timeline keeps rolling from there. It's not bad in Hawaii right now. I think it's like 4 p.m. But it's Hawaii. The people have a hard time being on time. Got that island time going on. All right. So I can see we have people. They're popping in and saying hi. So I will go ahead and kick this thing off for starts. As you can see, guys, we have the timeline scrolling along the bottom to let you know. Heavenly Chaos 3, Heavens Reflected, June 1st. I did put the book in for pre-order. Normally they do it within 12 hours. It has been a day and a half. I'm just gonna open this up real quick and go over here and click this and click that and then check. Still in review. Okay, so sometime in the next day or two, guys, the pre-order will go out. And when it does, I will, of course, let everyone know that the pre-order is up. But we're looking at Heavenly Chaos is going to be live on the 1st of June. So if you pre-order it, you should, get it that that midnight or thereabouts for you. Following that, we're going to have Antecedents Legacy 5, Assembly's Folly. Yeah, right there in August. Following will be Aether's 11. Title is still being worked on, as is cover art. And then, of course, we will continue with our 3-book rotation by rolling back into Heavenly Chaos 4. Also, title will be determined. So that is that. For audio, we do have the oh, excuse me. I hate it when a burp gets stuck. We have Aether's 10 out with the editor, and Lux Voice 9 out with the editor, and Antecedents Legacy 4 is with Podium. I think it's on Andy's schedule for June recording, but I don't have anything from them about a pre-order or anything yet. So I don't know when that is going to hit. If they're good about it, they'd set a pre-order for right near August. So at least book 4 audio will drop right around the same time book 5 comes out. But that's going to be up to Podium. Um, the new rotation hasn't basically is just now starting since we had just finished Lux Voice 9, the start at the top of the year back in February. We're not I'm not really going to know how this 3-book rotation is going to roll for me for probably a good year, just because that's 2 books in each. Make sure that everything stays fresh in my mind and how it's going to go. So we're probably looking through 26 before I pull a trigger one way or another on yes, we're staying or no, we're not. But at the moment, things are moving. So at the moment, we're good. I think that is that. What else should I? That is all the book stuff, right? I think that's all the book stuff, guys. I think that's our cap on bookie stuff. In in other news related to bookie stuff, though, it sounds like I should be talking point spreads when I say bookie stuff, though. Honestly, in other news related to book information, um, There is the Denver Lit RPG Con, July. I think it's July 18th, 19th, and 20th in Denver. Um, so for those who are going to be in the Denver area, I do have some things coming in to hand out to people. So if you'd like some free stuff from me and you're there, make sure to do that. I will have tables in their area where authors and tables are. I've also been told that there might be like an auction or something sponsored by the convention, and I am probably going to bring some stuff to put up into that. So if you like signed books or something, you might be able to find some stuff for that as well. Um, I am still waiting for shipping information from them about being able to ship things directly to the convention site. Because if I can't do that, then I'm gonna have to pick and choose. Because I do have a couple of friends in the Denver area that are going to be gracious enough to help me by, accepting packages if needed. But I can't send a lot if that's going to be the case. So we're we're looking at that, but it's hopefully going to be a good thing. Hopefully, the lit RPG community really turns out, especially these first few years for the lit RPG con, because we needed to show interest, people showing up, and then get some longevity behind it and whatnot. If that happens, then lit RPG will take another step up in awareness above and beyond what it's already doing, and get even more people interested in the genre, bring even more people in, and it'll be the growing tide for all of the authors that you like the books of, not just mine. My mother must be here. That is the only only thing that makes sense. Sure enough, my mother is here. Hi, mom. Hi, mom. Um, so yeah, I think that covers book stuff. So we can get into the questions and answers and stuff now, guys. So if you have the questions, go ahead and start rolling them in. My moderators are here today. We have a full staff of moderators on deck. So I will be getting to questions hopefully in a timely manner. I am killing time just a little bit to let those questions start to fill in and stack up, because me talking at nothing sounds kind of like this. It's not great, honestly. How are your games with Andy going? Tech, they're going okay. We have a Baldur's Gate 3 run. The last couple of weeks have not been the best for everyone's, being on the same page for doing a more in-depth RP tactical type game. So he defaulted back to Mario Party, and those are just silly fun. That's the one. That's one of the defaults for when we just want to play something together and not have to think. So I would say they're going good. It's always fun playing with Andy though. But playing a tactical game with Andy is just asking for a Chaos Gremlin to do Chaos Gremlin things. However, I have some practice with that, as my girlfriend is also very much in that category. So yeah. Did you send out the Patreon winners? Yes, I did, Paul. I notified them Saturday. I want to say it was on Saturday when it ended. Well, that. Thank you, by the way, Paul. You did remind me there is something else I should talk about. But I did notify the winners. There are only 2 people out of the 15 who have not gotten back to me yet. I hope they do so in the next couple of days. I've already begun the process of getting the other 13 people their winning items, packaging things up, and getting things ready to send out. And then, of course, today, guys, make sure to check. It's not going to be tonight. I'm going to be dead at the end of this. But tomorrow sometime, guys, make sure to check back on your Twitch messages. It's a little upper right-hand corner. I think it says whispers. Check there. See if you have a message from me, please. I know I have at least one or two outstanding from a couple of months ago still. I might have one outstanding from like 8 months ago still, honestly. But please try to get back to me in a timely manner. This way I can get your information and everything else and get things sent out, so we don't have something like me waiting 8 months to get somebody a coin because they never checked their messages. Please. So, but you did remind me about winners there, Paul, and I will say that the giveaways for my 7 years as a full-time author are currently ongoing. It is on Facebook. It is on Discord. You can apply once on each spot. So you can apply a total of 2 times, once in each. If you apply more than once on either, I'm disqualifying you. You will not be one of the people who wins. But you can apply once. So you have 2 chances basically to win challenge coins or the coveted red shirts, where I put your name in and then normally kill you in some horrific fashion. And you don't get any input on where I use your name or who that person is. So you could be something as innocuous as, say, an archivist, or you could be the guy that Alvin shot in the head shortly after meeting him because he was an abusive asshole. Just saying. You don't get a choice. If you give me the right to use your name, I just put you in somewhere. So if you do win and you choose that, be aware. Be aware. The only other cons I can think that I'm going to is I'll be at Dragon Con, of course. I'm going to try to hit Dragon Con every year if possible. As long as the community keeps going to Dragon Con, I will continue to go to Dragon Con as well. Of course, that is going to be interesting. We might have 2 very big meet and greets. One in like mid-July, one in late August, early September, where a lot of the lit RPG community turns out for them. Words are hard, folks. Take it from me. Speaking is not my forte, and even my writing suffers from mangled words. You can ask my editors. They are kind enough to remove 99% of that before you guys get them. Physical books out when audio drops. Normally, as soon as the audio is finished being recorded, Nazi, is when I take that file and then send it off to get bundled into a physical copy so I can then put it up for you guys. I wait until after the audio because Andy almost always finds 1 or 2 things that should be tweaked, like editing things that could be edited better. And then I also take whatever corrections needed to be made. Like, so if she tweaks a line because it just reads better, I correct it in the physical copy. If there is something, an editing issue that I think should be changed, I ask her to change that in the audio copy, and then I make sure it's reflected in the physical copy. So the physical always comes out after audio is recorded, so we can ensure that there is as much matchup between them as possible. And then I then update the ebook as well, so hopefully we don't get the issue we still have, but we don't get it as often, where the ebook desyncs from the audiobook. So that's 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 the hope, but it's never 100% guaranteed. When she can, Wolf. That is entirely up to Andy. I invite her every month. It depends on her schedule, how she's feeling, um, everything else. But I invite her every time. I would be over the moon if she showed up every month. That would, to me, it's just better because I can bullshit with her while I'm waiting for questions. While you guys, give me questions to talk about, I can just ramble with her on a topic that me and her understand for 5 minutes, and you guys refilling questions again, and it works really well. And a lot of, I'd say a third to half the questions, if she's here, are for her, and I have no problem with that. It's like an impromptu podcast. No, it's an impromptu podcast basically at that point with fan interaction. I don't know why I'm so gassy, guys. I really apologize. In the back of your books, you have those that have gone above and beyond. Lit RPG, that Patreon tier is no longer up. At one point, it was near 300 names, and with Audible, no, I'm sorry, Audible. They have their own problems, but with Amazon and uh, KDP being what they are, I did not want to get slapped for frivolously stuffing in my book. It's the same reason why I don't have a cast of characters or this is how you pronounce names or anything else that you can find in some other books. Because I try to give Amazon nothing they can use to slap me with to pull away my ability to publish on them. When Amazon controls 75% or more of the ebook and audio workspace or licensing space, basically, if you don't publish there, your chance of being able to make the same amount of money is really hard. Um, so as soon as I got to about 300 names, I took that tier away. The people who are still there are the people who have been in that tier, and if I just leave it there, and as long as they continue to stay there, I'm keeping the tier. But things happen. I had somebody whose bank balked for a month, and they dropped off that tier, and I feel bad. But I'm not reopening up that tier and possibly getting 60 new people who suddenly see it and jump on it. So one guy can jump back into that tier. So it is it is not possible anymore. Not at all. Ah. Xerox, I'll answer that question the way I answer every question when it comes to things in books. Has it been talked about in the series? If it has not been talked about, then whatever you want to imagine it being is perfectly fine until such time that I give you a solid answer in a book. I don't know if that'll ever happen. I'm just an after action reporter, not a plotter. So, lies, lies and falsehoods. I've been told I have a hard time taking a compliment, and that's not true. I don't have a hard time taking a compliment. I just refuse to take them at all. See, it's not very hard. Um, Honestly, though, I have a hard time with that kind of thing because I just don't see it myself. I have I have friends who tell me that kind of thing all the time, and I think I have a lot of people fooled. Um, I don't know what I might have done for you to consider those statements true. And if you believe those statements are true, I am very flattered. I just have a hard time accepting them. It just is. I still see myself as just a guy with a lot of stories in his head who shares them with you. And that's it. The fact that they might help you through a rough patch. They helped you cope with the loss of a loved one. When I hear those things, I'm very flattered and touched. That's amazing that my story can reach out and help you. Um, but for me, they're just the stories in my head. And if I said that, 30 years ago, I would be in a nice little padded room with a jacket. So, but if you believe I am a good person and I'm I do good things and you're grateful for me, I appreciate that. I really do. I don't know how to take that. I, it sits there and I look at it and I don't know what to do and I ramble on that topic enough. Let me get another question. I really enjoyed the question you asked this time. But I think it's funny you always ask questions about what is your favorite thing when you hate getting those questions. I mean, I don't think I said favorite this time. Did I say favorite this time? Did I? I gotta go look. No, It's in the text. Here it is. Go all the way up to the beginning. Yeah, you guys are really getting on there. Give me a scene from any of my books that you loved no, I guess you loved the most, but that can change. I'm not asking for a hard definitive, honestly. Just basically, it's something that whatever scene resonated with you the most. I'm not saying that has to be your favorite scene, just whatever scene that really resonated with you. So, but you are correct. It could be seen that way, and that is mildly amusing. And I probably do not do that on purpose. Yes, I would say so. Um, I mean, the last one was 7 months ago now, 8 months ago now, nearly 8 months ago, because I still had a four book rotation. Um, so fine. It's the first 30 days of a book coming out is how I judge how things are doing. So ask me again in July, and I'd be able to give you an answer. I think. Maybe give you an answer. Normally, yeah, like Aethers. Aethers had a little bit of a drop off. That's fine. It's book 10. Um, that's expected. However, it's still my best-selling series. It's still it's still above and beyond nearly everything else I've ever written. So Aethers is up there. Heavenly Chaos books 1 and 2 were doing a really good job of being just a little under where Aethers was through books in one and two. So I would say, well, we'll go with that. Eddie, I am currently on a 3 book rotation. I'm gonna see how that works out for me. Um, if for whatever reason it doesn't, and I have to go back to a 4 book rotation, then I would slot in a new series. At the moment, though, I'm gonna try to stay with Aethers, Heavenly Chaos, and Antecedents. Out of those 3 series, the one that's going to be closest to finishing is going to be Antecedents because I know the general idea of scope out of all the series. Um, and yes, I do have other ideas and things brewing to slot in when I have another slot open. But at the moment, I'm going to stick with the 3 book rotation at least through 26, and then I will see if for my own mental health I need to go back to a 4 book rotation or not. Um, if I do, I'll probably try to regiment it a little better, and because I was not consistent, and I know that. Um, I would see about trying to maybe plot things out a little bit better, so it wasn't like 6 weeks to this one, 7.5 to that one. Um, but at the moment, no, I don't. I'm not planning on starting another series that is going to be published anytime soon. Any worries about all these proposed bills targeting spicy and adult content? No, no. If for whatever reason something happens and they're just like, bam, puritanical America across the board, nothing that even remotely resembles sex can ever be talked about, discussed, or anything else, I could easily write my stories and then just segregate off the sex chapters and then put them somewhere like a Patreon or something if I had to. I could do that. So no, it wouldn't bother me. Would that decline sales numbers? Yes, absolutely. Sex sales, and anybody tells you otherwise is a fucking idiot. Um, but no, I don't worry about that. I can't do anything about it. I'm going to do what I can do, and then worry about the things that I can change. If it comes down to it, yes, I will give voice to this is fucking stupid. However, I know that no one is honestly going to listen to me saying that something is fucking stupid. I had decades of telling my direct supervisors when they were doing the most idiotic things in the world, only to be ignored. And then 6 months later, had that exact policy reversed because it was fucking idiotic. And bosses don't like being told, I told you so, but I still did it. The cookbook needs more than editing. Yeah, it needs cooking. It needs picturing. It needs assembling. It needs a lot. Honestly, like my mother has offered to be of more assistance to maybe expedite things a little bit more, and I might take her up on that. But at the moment, it's not coming anytime soon. It's one of those things where if I devote time and effort to it, it's taking time and effort away from something else. So, mm, you sent a Patreon announcement about Heavenly Chaos 3 and gave that recap was the blurb, Paul. So it's a public post, guys. If you go over to my Patreon, there's a public post. It shows you the cover, shows you the title, and then I posted the blurb. That is the blurb. It is a long blurb, and I know that. And all of my blurbs after book one are normally a recap of what happened in the last book. Why? To help people who don't remember what happened in the last book. At the start of every book, minus book ones, I have started recently in the last year and a half, 2 years, doing a recap, which is basically the blurb. Most of the time, the blurb plus, because I don't have the blurbs can only be so long. So my recaps are normally a little bit more expanded. Normally, sometimes it is just the blurb. Um, but it's there to help people who don't remember exactly what happened in the last book. I try to cover the key moments, things you should be aware of. Um, but yeah, it's there. It is the blurb for the book when you buy the book, and there is a recap at the start of the book. So, have you ever thought about doing a live chat with another author? Not really. If I worked with another author on a book for some reason, yes. But these live chats are basically a give back to you guys, the community that supports me. Um, it would feel really odd having just another author in here. The only one I can think of at the moment who I talk to on a regular basis at this point, who is also a fan of my books, and I've read his books and enjoyed them, would be Tress. I could I would be a little more inclined for that. But honestly, on the most part, no. It doesn't jive right for my live chats, because these are all, like I said, it's a celebration of you guys, the fans who support me. So it would be really odd to just have author Smith in here. That would just seem really weird to me. Any word on you being able to clone your own copy of Andrea for all your books? If that was a thing, people would be beating down my door for copies. And she'd have to give her consent to it first, and I don't see that happening. A lot of people don't want to give consent for clones, guys. Let's be honest. I would definitely not want another one of me out there running around. I know who I am. I can't guarantee that clone is going to be exactly like me, because you get into that moral quandary. If it's physically a perfect physical replica of you, we'll say that it has all your memories and everything else. That doesn't mean it's going to be exactly like you. How many times have you made the choice to not punch that fucker in the face? Maybe your clone decides to do that. Now you're wanted for assault. It wasn't me, it was my clone. It's a lot of that's the easy one. It gets really murky really fast otherwise. Is there no way in KDP to mark a session as not monetized so you can have a cast of characters? No. The book is the book, and they have very specific rules on what is stuffing. Technically, I know authors who do it. You can have a cast of characters. You can be like, this is main character, this is information, this is side main character, this is information. You can, but at any point, Amazon can change its mind and be like, yeah, we think that might be stuffing. And now that's true. They can do that at any point, regardless. I just really try to give them as few reasons as I possibly can. To me, the recap is very iffy. But considering the recap on a whole is like 2 pages normally, I'm like, okay, I'm taking, to me, I'm taking a risk, but I think it's minimal. A cast of characters for my series, guys, that's not 2 pages. So, um, I know that when she works with publishers, like if it goes through Podium, it's very unlikely. Because that's something Podium has to sign off on. When it's just a book that's me and Andy, Aethers, Heavenly Chaos. Sorry, Heavenly Chaos is through Podium. It was Aethers and Lux. If she had bloopers, I'm 100% for them. I think they're hilarious because they're just things that she said while she was recording. And honestly, I listened to them, and I think there's only been like 2 bloopers while I'm like, Andy, this one doesn't really hit. And those are the ones that she sends me. I know she also takes some of the other ones that she was unhappy with out as well. Um, but honestly, it's not very often. And at the moment, since the only series I have with her um, that isn't through Podium is Aethers, it's going to be even rarer at the moment. So, are there any series that you want to revisit or expand? I mean, yeah, there are things I'd love to get back to. I don't have the time. Not if I want to keep giving you guys the things I have. There are things that I really enjoy that did not make money. I can't go back to that when I have bills. If I hit megabucks, yeah, actually I would probably tinker with Resurrection Quest. I loved that book. I loved the idea of what that series could be. It was my worst selling book ever. I cannot write that book without taking a horrific loss. So yeah, will it ever happen? Yeah, probably not. In Heavenly Chaos, what made you go with such tragic events for your characters? I'm just an after action reporter. Football. I just write down what my characters tell me. This is the story that they told me. There are 2 different types of writers. There are plotters, the people who have everything plotted out for their book. Everything is going to reach, everything is going to get to these points. And that is per book, per series. And then you have what is called pantsers or free flow or any other word, which is basically they just write the story as it comes. Ooh, excuse me. And I am more in that boat. However, since I write a very slice of life esque series, it's very this is the story as it's told to me by my characters. There are very few things where I'm like, okay, these are the things that I need Ben to have been abused by. That no, okay, this is the series. This is the main character. What shaped this main character? And then I just listen to what my characters tell me. I mean, if you look at some of my books, some of my series, not all of them have tragic backstories. Heavenly Chaos is 3 main characters because Sadie rolls into book 3 um, to stay. Um, they all have something that they're overcoming, and maybe you just need to be a little bit crazy to think that you can continue to put your life in danger every day to reach the heavens. I don't know. Um, I don't think we've met one character in that series yet who's talked about their life being great and awesome, and all their parents were totally supportive and didn't have ulterior motives in any way, shape, or form, or anything else. So, but I'm just an after action reporter. I just say what my characters say. It is headcanon till it is not. DJ uses his headcanon. I mean, if it's not mentioned in the book, it's open to interpretation until such time that I say otherwise. No, honestly, anybody who follows my books can pick that up without a problem. If you're on any of the social media platforms that I'm on, you're on Facebook or Discord or anything else, you've heard that. If I put that out there, it's not going to bring more attention to that series. Not now, not over a year after the last book. I think it's over a year after the last book came out. Now I have to find out. Hang on. Dungeon Walkers. Book 4 was published March 1st, 2023. So 2 years ago. Don't don't close that. If you close that, the stream ends. Almost hit the wrong button. 2 years ago. Rebranding something 2 years after the fact, especially with my series, that's not gonna do it. That's nothing but vanity on my end. No, it's not gonna change how that series did. Clee, um, I intend to. It depends on whether or not you guys stay around. Because honestly, every time I publish a book, I'm waiting for the mass exodus. That means I have to go find a job working for other people again. So it doesn't matter when it's even when it's Aethers, and I know that you guys love that series. Every time I publish a book, I'm like, is this the one? Is this the one where people go, this guy's actually shit. Let's leave. And that's imposter syndrome, and I know that, and I'll probably have it for the rest of my life. Even if Netflix or somebody backed a truckload of money up to me and bought my series and it caught on and became the next Game of Thrones or something, I would probably be like, these people are fucking nuts. They're gonna realize that this is insane. Um, so I intend to. I mean, I really wanted this to work out. 7 years ago, on the 21st of this month, is when I left a job that they would have needed a hammer, crowbar, and chisel to get me out of. I worked for the county. I had a cushy government job. I had seniority. They would have needed to basically fire everyone. I guess that's a thing in some cases. Everyone across the county in my position to get rid of me. Which I know people who still work in the department. Ain't gonna happen. You always need someone to watch the people you lock up, even if it's just doing the paperwork for them. And that's what I did. So I can honestly say that I am grateful every day, and I plan to keep doing it as long as you guys are here. So that's why I do my giveaways on my live chats, because I try to give back some way, and I'm awkward and I'm introverted, and 2 hours of doing this normally has me face down somewhere because I have no spoons left. And if you don't know the spoon social interaction theory, go look it up. It'll explain things to you about introverts. Have you considered doing anything with a horror bent? Well, I see. I never really considered Apocalypse Gates to be really a horror bent. Yeah, it was Apocalypse. Yeah, there were some horrific monsters in it, but it was never horror focused. And that's just because I don't care for horror myself. Um, some people really enjoy horror. I look around the world and I see enough horror on a daily basis. There are enough things in this world to scare me that I don't need Freddy Krueger or a Jason or a Mothman or anything else. So nah, I'm good. I like a fluffy, light slice of life story, maybe with a little bit of drama and some tears and some laughter, and that's I'm good there. I'm good. Cat, I did once. It was Dungeon Walkers. It was the follow up to Alpha World. Um, it was not a great selling series, and after book one, it was very obvious that it was a follow up to Alpha World. So at the moment, no, I do not plan a spin-off or sequel to any of my series. There are things I've left out there, so I can go back to them if I wish. Last Horizons was left in a spot I can go back and pick it up. Apocalypse Gates was left in a spot I can go back and pick it up. Dungeon Walkers was left in a spot I can go back and pick it up. But I don't plan on it. I have 100 other ideas spinning around in my head to be told. So now, if I get an idea for a story, and the main character is like, "So I'm actually the grandson of Sean McDougal, and this is my story." I'll write it, but I don't plan on it. Thank you, Aeon. I'm gonna call you Aeon. I don't know how else to break that down. Um, I like to think my stories are based on real people with real problems. I like to think that I keep that human element. That it's not just kill the monster, collect the loot. That it's not just, hey, I can do an amazing aerial 360 while firing 40 arrows, and that makes me really cool, and you should like me. I I like I like slice of life. I like getting to know the people when they're not going from frying pan to fire. Um, and I want to keep those human moments in them. So thank you. Those compliments I can kind of accept because hey, your story touched me. Cool. Hey, Daniel, you're a great person. I don't. It's a duality that it just is. It just is. Um, I've had a couple of things that have wanted attention, Paul, but nothing that grabbed me by the short hairs and was like, "Look, I know you have an hour right now, and I think you should listen." Because the first two books of Antecedents Legacy, the first two books of Heavenly Chaos, were both that way. Yeah, look, we know you don't have time. We know there's no room in your schedule. We know it's okay. But look, you're gonna sit here. You're gonna sit here and you're gonna listen to us, and you're gonna write a little bit. And hey, if you like it, you're gonna write a little bit more. And look, there's a sneaky person coming around the corner of the door there. I think I'm in trouble. Maybe she's come to murk me. I've done something really wrong. Oh, she's playing with the cats. I'm safe. I'm safe. Thank God. But I haven't had anything basically sit on my chest and been like, hey, you really need to write me right now. I've had a couple of things I've tinkered with. Um, I will say there is one off the wall project that I did because I had a conversation with somebody I know and adore, and they mentioned something, and I went, cool. Let me think about it. And that will probably be a thing. It will be outside of the normal rotation though. And I've written a book. Eventually it'll be known, but it'll be outside of the normal rotation. I don't know if you'll get one every year or one every 2 years on out of that thing, but that was because somebody I care a lot about mentioned something, and I went, meh, meh. I have an idea. The other things I've been tinkering with, um, I got a couple of them. but yeah, nothing has sat on my chest. Looking forward to getting back to Heavenly Chaos. I really enjoy the classroom aspect. Well, Drigus, I have bad news. I have bad news about the classroom aspect. Um, there's not as much classroom aspect coming forward. It was kind of talked about at the end of book two, so you'll understand. You'll understand. Have you gotten very many recipes? I have a lot of recipes. You mean like are they have they been have they been cooked? Have they been sampled? Have they been photoed? I don't know. I don't do that, guys. I gave up cooking when I stopped cooking for a living. I will cook for me and my girlfriend. I don't do big meals anymore. I just don't. And honestly, taking the time to do that once again is time away from doing something else. So my girlfriends were working on it. As far as I know, they are still tinkering with it. That's all I can say. What did you do before you became a writer? For the majority of my life, I worked in food and beverage. Busser, dishwasher, cook, uh, prep cook, sous chef, waiter, cashier. If it was food and beverage, I did it. Um, and then there was the time that I was unemployed for a while, and I had a couple of odd jobs, just trying to find something to stay alive and keep a house. And the struggle that most of America goes through. Um, and then I had a job just before I became a writer. I had a job where I worked for the county. I did paperwork at the county jail. Um, that's the job where I said they would have needed a hammer, crowbar, and chisel to get me out of. Um, that was the last thing I did before I became a full time author. But honestly, I was making more as an author than I was working at the jail. And I thought, why do I want to work here when I can just do that all the time? And once it became financially feasible, that's what I did. And because of all of you, that's what I do. And now I do things like this live chat. So, well, mom, it's not your fault. You're just a product of your generation. I love my mother, but she's old. She's older than me, and I feel old. But my mother and technology are not on the best talking terms. Eddie, that would be amazing. Once again, time and effort. I don't have the time. I'm not putting effort into it. It would take a game company coming to me and saying, "Hey, we would like to make this," and then I would talk to them about it. But no, I am not. I do not have the time and effort to put into it. Yeah, yeah. There are some things that I still cook. Mostly breakfast stuff, but I don't. Me and my girlfriend currently are on very different patterns. I wake up at 5. She wakes up at 10. So I make breakfast for me. Breakfast for her is lunch for me. Da, 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 da. Yeah, it's called previously Xerox. It's been in like I want to say the last. God, I don't even know when I put the first previously in. It's at least the last 6 audiobooks. But yeah, it's always there. It's called previously, is what I use instead of recap. Previously, dot, dot, dot. Because previously on, it's just to, remind you. Have you ever thought about having one of your editor live chat where you can listen to your editors harp on about you? My editor sits 6, maybe 7 feet to my right. So when something really bothers her, I know. Did you and Tress collaborate to add small callouts in both of your books? No. Tress was a fan of what I wrote before he published. So his callouts were as far as I know, a nod to my books because he enjoyed them. I talked to the man, but I don't want to speak for him. I have put a nod or two back. If you look for them, you will find them. Um, because I have enjoyed what he has written. It's just a mutual appreciation. We haven't talked about it. Hey, outside of that, hey, do you mind if I mention, X? It's not like we plan it out. Hey, in book 3 of this, I'm going to mention, this specific thing. No, at this point, it's okay. We both basically said, hey, cool. If you want to throw a shout out, go for it. But we don't plan them. I guess is what I'm going for. It's not a collaboration. Does Andy's schedule affect your book rotation? No, Frank, it does not. It just means that books might sit there waiting for her to have a spot open in her schedule. But I am going to keep publishing at the pace I publish because I need to meet bills. So, Overlord is definitely not a pantser. He doesn't wear pants when writing. Actually, you would actually you would be incorrect. I wear jeans most days. In fact, I wear jeans nearly every day. So I wear pants. 90, I would say 98, 99% when I'm writing. When I'm not wearing pants, I'm wearing my lounge around the house shorts because you always have to answer a door. There's always somebody, even if it's just a solicitor, who wants to come up to your door at some point. So there is never not a point where I am not wearing some kind of bottom covering that I could walk out my front door in, just in case I have to remove someone from my property. So you would be incorrect. So. I've heard of authors that write backwards. At least one chaos author that seems to write the book in Pulp Fiction order. I mean, if it works for them, great. As I've told people before, find what works for you. It doesn't matter if 99 out of 100 other people want to tell you it's fucking wrong. If it works for you, that's all that matters. No part of the way I write is considered good by traditional authors. Nothing. So find what works for you, and if it works, keep doing it. But if somebody is really writing that way in a just a full chaos Pulp Fiction style, or going back to front, more power to them. I would die. What was the meme? Happy people don't go hunting vampires. I mean, it's true. If you are happy, satisfied, you don't have worries over your head, you're very unlikely to go hunt the dragon. If the dragon isn't bothering you, and you don't have money worries or anything else, you're not going to go hunt the dragon. Normal people don't do that. Adrenaline junkies do that. And people who are in dire straits do that. Are we ever going to encounter larger Bane beasts in AR? We've seen references to them and to smaller ones. I mean, Argron, if you go back and read book 7, when Gregory's in the north, you'll have your answer to that. I'm all right, Frank. Highs and lows. Today, my girlfriend's computer decided to die. We're not sure if a capacitor burst, if the power words, the power thing at the back of the computer. You know what I'm talking about. If that died, something popped, and then it shut off. So it's at the shop now. Power supply. Thank you, Holly. It's at the shop now, and hopefully we will get a call tomorrow about what's wrong and what they're going to do to fix it. So, but me overall, I'm okay. Good days, bad days. Life is life. I have never met anyone who has gone through an entire year and never had a bad day. People have bad days. People have good days. They just are. Um, I have I have had bad days this year. I've had a brother-in-law pass away. Um, I've had I've had some other personal things that I'm not getting into that have happened. I've had bad days this year, but I've also had days where I'm just everything is good. Everything is wonderful. There's been nothing to cause me a headache. So overall, I'm good. Got to try to embrace the good days and try to get through the bad, like everyone else. If Netflix did pick up a series, who would you want to play the MC of any series you want to say? It really depends on the series. I mean, I would want different actors for different parts. I mean, at the moment, it's really hard. Most of my main characters are younger-ish. The only one who's not is Xander. So, like, if Antecedents was being picked up and I got to cast anyone for Xander, I would want someone in the Henry Cavill esque, big, imposing, can do a no nonsense in your face style when it's needed, but it can also show the tender moments. I don't do TV shows and movies and stuff, so I can't. I'm not good on who do you want to play what, but a lot of my stuff is very. My main characters are still sub 25. So it's really hard for me to say, oh, this is the person I want to play that. So my spoons have spikes so I can stab people. That's called a spork, Kuma. It's called a spork. It is a spoon with teeth. I'd like to apologize because when Heavenly Chaos 2 came out, I made a comment on the Facebook page about the Path of Ascension, and it seemed like a criticism. It's fine. Um, are there similarities? Yes, you'll find similarities in a lot of things. I enjoy Path of Ascension. I admit that. I enjoy Path of Ascension. Um, I think there are far more differences than there are similarities. But it's okay. If you see things one way and I see them another, as long as people are respectful, it's fine. We have nearly lost the ability to have civil discourse in today's society. And honestly, it's something that I wish there was more of. I'm about to say, with only 2 books into Heavenly Chaos, I think differences will be more apparent as the series goes on. Do you have a process for coming up with new stories, or do they strike like lightning? I don't really have a process. Like I said, I just report what the people tell me. So How do your characters relay their stories to you? Casual chatting or dedicated meeting? I just I just listen to the story. It's not like we gather around a table with coffee and croissants. It's just when I sit down at my computer and I'm like, okay, next chapter. This is what happened last chapter. Okay, so what is happening here? And then I just write what I'm told. So I would say casual chatting maybe. Yeah, I would let's say that. Is the current Heavenly Chaos the last of the pre-written books? Um, it depends on what you mean by pre-written, Baron. I had written books 1 and 2 before one published. I had not finished writing 3 by the time one published. So take that as you will. How are the cats, the most important members of the house? Stinky Jinky, our 12-pound mass of teenager, basically. He's in his I think he's like 4 years old now, so he's in that high teenager energy phase. He is mostly relaxed, except when he wants to play with his sister, who is now like a 12-year-old 6-pound cat. Well, I'm sorry, sub 6-pound cat. She was under 6 when we took her to the vet last. So half less than half of his weight, more than 3 times his age, and he wants to play, and she don't want to play. She's old. She don't want it. So he gets into trouble because he continues to want to play, and she says no. And when she starts yelling is when we know we have to go stop him. And then he gets put into air jail for a while, which means Sammy picks him up and holds him and just carries him around the house like a front strapped baby because he hates air jail. And he realizes when he's in air jail, he's done something wrong. And that normally gets him to stop for at least the rest of the day. Normally. The little old lady is mostly deaf now, we're fairly certain, which means she can no longer hear herself. So her volume has picked up and has become more frequent. So when she does not see anyone, she will start screaming and wandering the house until she finds someone. Other than that, they're fine. I can see Badger going old school mafia to get his story written. Look, you're gonna sit there, you're gonna listen. You're gonna listen. I have a story. It's a beautiful story about space. Space and beautiful women. Beautiful. You wouldn't believe these women. And Mecca. Oh, you never lived until you'd driven a Mecca. I wonder if Heavenly Chaos 3, someone points out the comma abuse. Ben doesn't use it much, and his partner uses it all the time. I mean, nobody really sees them. When you're in a rift, nobody's there with you. So how would they be able to point that out? You could bake bacon in a pan a few at a time or on a sheet in the oven where you can cook a lot of it. Well, I mean, if you have a stovetop griddle, you can actually cook a lot of it on the stove too, Paul. And I have utilized many methods, including when I worked in professional kitchens where you have just the big rack with trays of bacon and you slid it into the stand-up uh, oven, and it would slot right in, and then the mechanism would slowly turn the rack as it cooked. Just saying, I've I've used a lot of methods. I'm a man of many methods. I need to stop. I really need to stop. Guys, I'm catching up to you. There are 39 of you, it says. But I'm catching up to you. I have sub 10 questions on my board. which I mean works for me. If you guys don't ask questions, then we end the live chat. I go lay down and I read. I face blank out for the rest of today, and then tomorrow I get back to doing things. But I'm just mentioning this in case you want me to entertain you a little bit longer. It's up to you. Have you been into comics? Oh, like comic books? I have not been into like actual comic books probably in a couple of decades. The last comic books that I really enjoyed reading were Knights of the Dinner Table, which was a parody of gaming. I loved them. Um, I think they're still being made. I don't know, but I really enjoyed them. Um, Web comics, there are still a couple I read every week. Hang on, I want to make sure I get these right because the authors deserve me to get them right. One is called Artificial Incident, which is it's a kind of a lit RPG web comic. It's very small. It's only a single page once a week. Um, the uh, the artist did a couple of artworks for me on commission a few years ago. Um, Sage is the handle he goes by. And then the other one, hang on, I want to make sure that I really, really computer, really. The other one is by Dave Barrick. It is Girl Power. I actually subscribe to his Patreon, so I get the comics a little faster from him. Um, and I've kept up on that one. Last year, let's see, he was on 1,356. He's been doing it a while. That is also one page. Is that 2 pages a week? Yeah, 2 pages a week. Yeah, 2 pages. I had to go and look. Those are it for comics for me though. Back when I was a kid, yes, I used to read Marvel. I loved the X-Men when I was a child. If there was a series you would want a live, if there was a series, would you want live action or animated? There are very few of my series that you could do entirely live action. They would still be heavily CGI'd. So at that point, I'm I'm not picky. Honestly, I'm not going to be picky. If Netflix or somebody came to me and said, "Hey, we would really like to make this into a TV series," I would talk to them. I would. It's not a question. Talks would happen. The first bit of talks would be how much and how much are you going to change? Because the more you want to change, the more I'm going to need to give you my IP. Point blank. However, everyone has a price. And if they paid me enough money, I would hold up my hands and be like, guys, I'm not responsible for whatever they change. I'm very sorry, but it was a lot of money. But yes, I would talk with them. I would not be that picky. Is Sadistic Sadie from the same lineage as Sarah from mine? No, Mr. M, because I don't do crossovers. The last names are similar because I wanted you to be able to pick up on the fact of what her bloodline might be. There are some similarities that you will see when I am trying to get a point across without flatly saying it. Speaking of cult things, where are the henchmen to go with us minions? I do have a couple of henchmen. Henchmen being the ones who would do the dirty work that you normally wouldn't send a minion to do. They'd be the people who get their hands dirty. Now that I think about it, I do have a couple of henchmen. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna rat them out though. I'm not that kind of boss. I have them. If you need to know about them, well, you'll meet them. If we wanted to send you something, do you have a PO box we can send it to? Yeah, yes, I do. I would ask that you tell me. I don't check my PO box that often, guys. Like once a month when I'm like sending out coins. That's it. It's there specifically for basically business packages when I have to receive something. If you really, I don't think it's up there anymore, is it? Here, I'm gonna put it. I'll put it in comment. Doot doot. Don't mind me. I'm just typing. No, no. Hang on. God damn it. I think it's 4-1. And now I don't know. It is 4-1. Okay. There you go. That is my PO box. But if you're going to send something, please message me on Discord or Facebook or something and say, "Hey, I sent you a package." Or I sent you a letter, something. Especially if it's packaged, because I really don't want it sitting there for a month. Well, it's totally fine, Dester. I've had somebody send me a pin before. I don't have it on my desk anymore. Where did I? Oh, it's at the other house. It's with the other girlfriend. It is not here. It is a really nice pen. It is just not at this desk. It is at another desk. Um, but it really nice. I really enjoyed that. The girlfriends fell apart, sadly. That is sometimes happens. Yes, actually, when I got that PO box, Clee, I laughed because they tried to assign me a different PO box first, and then she couldn't find the key. She's like, "Hang on, I'll just go get you another one," and that was the one she finally signed me up with. I will let go of that PO box when I die, unless they close out the substation. I'm not giving up that PO box. That is just too wonderful a number to give up. So the proper portion for cooking bacon is by the pound. I've got to a point in my life where I can't eat a pound of bacon anymore. Sacrilege as some might consider it. I'm in I'm I'm in my late 40s. Pound of bacon's a bit much for me by itself. If there's a pound of bacon that's been like shredded up and mixed into something else, well, that's just something that's happened. But like if just here's a plate of a pound of bacon, as much as I want it, it would be a bad idea. Just curious, do the rifts in Heavenly Complex get more in Heavenly Complex? Heavenly Chaos get more complex as time goes on, like storylines, complex things. I mean, we're gonna find out together, Guardian. We will find out together. Never, Sly. Never. That means being able to hold an accent consistently. I know my limitations. Putting on an accent that's just decent enough to get by for a tabletop game, fine. Like full voice acting, nah, 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 not me. Mm. I mean, it's true, Lost. I have held the position at a few dinner tables in my time. Mostly at Dragon Con, which incidentally is where when I see my henchmen. My goal, besides the coins, is to someday meet the ogre and have him know my name. Will probably result in me getting a black eye based on his recent reactions, but he'll remember me. I mean, unless your name is Skippy, in which case I cannot be held accountable. Some things are just a reaction. Um, but there's at least one con I go to every year, and if things work out well, there will be at least two cons I go to every year. Will I ever make a trip to a convention somewhere outside of the United States? I would like to say yes, but it's probably not going to be anytime soon. So it is possible. It would just take some doing. I would be glad to meet you. Buying me a drink is a hard thing to do. I have been known to buy people drinks instead. But like I said, I will be at two conventions this year, and then I will be at other conventions going forward. So meeting me once again is entirely possible. It just might take some doing. Cool, I'm catching up to you guys again. Catching up again. Have you watched Journey Quest or Darkness Rising? They're both sound very similar, very not similar, familiar. The names are like, hey. So I want to say that I've heard of them if I haven't watched them. Yak, but it is late-ish for me, and my brain is not going. This is how you connect one to two, but the names sound familiar. Do you have any inspirations for your characters? Or do they just pop up? My characters are just the characters. I did have inspiration for Sean and Binding Words. He's based off my good friend Sean. Is where Sean comes from. Um, the clueless, you'd have to club him over the head with the clue by four to get him to understand that women are interested in him. 100% my friend Sean. This is a man who got pushed into a wall and kissed on New Year's Eve and didn't understand that the woman liked him. Well, that's just that kind of thing just happens. This was before I knew him. His other good friend had to grab him and explain it to him slowly, which eventually came to the point where Sean's daughter is in college now because, things progressed. But he wouldn't have known if somebody hadn't explained it to him. So sometimes, ooh, camera, sometimes inspiration. I knew the story I wanted to write. I knew the world and setting, and I said I need a main character that this will work with. So I used my good friend Sean. And well, I think Binding Words did fairly well. Any potential new series MC in the not a furry but category? I I am not understanding the question. Are you asking if any of my main characters are going to be in the anthropomorphic but not quite a furry category? Are you asking if any of my main characters will be interested in the not quite a furry but anthropomorphic category? If you can clarify that and give me that question again, slide, then I could answer. Oh, the arms up, seeing the tattoos. I know your tats are very serious. Is there a tat for the author coin? No, there's not. I'm probably not going to get one for Shinhofen Books. All of these represent Shinhofen Books to me because Shinhofen Books is just what is just basically just me. I don't I don't need there you go. I don't need that tattoo because that is me. Having something goes, oh, by the way, this series, this series, this series, this series, these series, this series, and then the ones on the back of my calves. Yeah, but probably not the Shinhofen Books logo. I don't need that logo. I am. Did he? Has not. Okay, or at least it hasn't been slotted in yet. How does one become a henchman? It's not a position you could really acquire. A good henchman is just a good henchman. They started as minions. They were loyal. They were faithful. And when I needed something done, they took care of it. It's that simple. After a couple of those, a henchman came into being. They leveled up. They got a new class. They gained new powers, prestige. And then I have a potato. But what a potato. There's no other potato like that. Succubi are kind of like mushrooms of fantasy. They grow on you and they are everywhere. I mean, if you look across the scope of my series, all of my series, there's a very common trend in the majority of them. Just saying. They will be burned. Frank, I'm not kidding. They will be burned. You won't know about it. I'm not going to film it. They'll just die messily. So, I mean, if you want to literally throw money into a fire, that's entirely up to you. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your money. I'm just going to tell you what I'm going to do with it if it shows up. I will put a ring of salt around it and then light it on fire. I want to say yes. I want to say yes. However, I think it's been a while, but I want to say yes. But when I say a while, I mean like over a decade. I'm old. We'd be happy to take you to lunch at Lit RPG Con this summer. So, Clee, and everyone here, there's a little thing. I have an upstanding reputation, or an upstanding. I have a reputation for conventions that I'm not willing to let go. So while I appreciate that, really it means a lot to me. The odds of it happening where you get to pay for me, vanishingly small. I have bought more meals for people, friends, acquaintances, business associates, fans at conventions than any other time. And the number of times one has been bought for me, I think once. Convention hadn't started yet. So technically I can still claim my record. It was literally the day before the convention. So I can still hold my record. So well, I appreciate it. It'd be more likely I would buy you a meal or a drink than you buying me one. I'm a little zealous about very few things in my life, but I have a record and I'm going to hold that. Maybe it's a little petty. I don't know. Could be, maybe. So I'm going to tell a little story here. There's a specific Canadian author who has written lit RPG. Might be a little bit of a chatterbox standing in the field, who has tried repeatedly over Dragon Con since 2018 to buy me a drink. So far, the score counts, he has bought me 0. I have bought him over 40. To say, sometimes I don't know when to stop something. Wonder if friend Sean ever. No, he does not. My friend does not do social media. As far as I know, he has never attended a live chat. He he does have Twitch. I think he has seen things on Twitch. When I did these on Facebook, it would be a never ever in a million years. But it is highly unlikely my friend would ever stop in here. But if you want to meet Sean of Binding Words, you want to meet the inspiration, he comes with me every year to Dragon Con. And AR is a I know AR is a God Reborn series, but have you thought a Reborn in a New World series but retain their memories? I have some problems steaming with the majority of those. And my problem comes down is they remember their memories as an infant. That's where I draw the biggest problem with those. And of course, since most of the ones of those that I've touched on are of a specific Eastern origin, some of them go very, very weird, very, very quickly. But I have a problem with I'm less than a year old, and yet I am a 90-year-old master swordman archmage. I am not against the idea of a reborn in a new world, and I have my memories. But I would want the impetuous to come like as a teenager or early teen to late teen. Not I'm 3 years old and I know everything. That gets really awkward, guys. For me at the very least, I just that would be very awkward. So because a 2-year-old should not have the mentality of a 90-year-old. Just no. So will I ever do one? Yeah, it's possible. But it would be a later I remembered these things, not a I remembered them as soon as I was born. Yes. Yeah, that's a good answer. Yes. Also having your I mean, it's a good identification mark, honestly. Well, who's this body belong to? I don't know, Shinhofen Books. Just, but honestly, yeah, I can't see myself tattooing my own name on. Interested in an anthro furry-esque character. Okay, so would the main character ever pursue a a partner who is more anthro than I have done? I think the most you could look to at the moment would be Ping. Um, considering how much snake is attached to her, how much long scaly tail is attached to her. That'd be scaly, not furry. I understand. Um, and that comes there's just the dividing line of when is the character too anthro for enough of an audience to be okay with it. Ears and tails, most people can just cool. My fan base especially, ears and a tail, nobody's gonna say too much. Some fur, like maybe a wrist cuff or ankle cuffs or something, probably okay. Probably okay. Full fur and or muzzle is probably where there's going to be a bigger gap in how well it's accepted, which is why I normally hold to ears and tail, maybe teeth, more pronounced canines and such, claws. Um, those I feel are good, but Sardom or any of the full year ticks, probably not. Is Ping more human top or reptilian? No, she's human. She's human from basically top of the head to basically mid, what would be mid thigh, and then from that it's, you know, a whole lot of tail. So um and I just said I wouldn't, Frank. So no. Cool. Almost caught up to you guys again. Whatever keeps you warm at night, burning meth fields. I'm pretty sure I'd have to do it outside of town, like I said, with a circle of salt around the fire, because one, releasing that kind of negative energy into the world is probably a bad idea. So you need to contain it. One, two, I'm pretty sure the cops would feel badly about me burning meth anywhere inside the town limits. Just saying. Have you thought about doing a humans as space orcs space opera? Not really. I just write the stories that come to me, Dest. I don't go, hey, this story is something I should totally pursue. I just write what comes to me. Not as much. I mean, we've met the Terrans. They are not nearly as they are more of a cohesive whole since they have a one world government and seem to never have had a second world war. Um, so I don't know if I would call them space orcs. I'm going to live as long as I can, but probably not forever. Forever's a really long time. I would see all my friends and family die before me, and that really I'm not on board. You would need a flash mob to bring a table and food and like a staged event. I mean, Paul, that would be one way of doing it. Not really. AL is Lost in Space plus Halo. I mean, eh. Oh, Centaur is a very divisive thing, Black. Centaur is a very divisive subject for a lot of people. So yeah. Yeah, like I said, there's a real divide on where is anthro a little too much. Is there any chance you would hire an artist to make a portrait of all your characters for each of your books to buy? Um, so, Mr. Sandbagger, I have had a lot of problems finding reliable artists who can follow even the basic prompt to give me something even remotely resembling what it is I asked for at a price that's reasonable. Is there a chance I would ever hire an artist to do that? Yes. I am not taking the time and effort to go looking for some artists to do that. Not doing it. That's time away from writing. I I give most of my day to writing because I enjoy it. I do not enjoy hunting. It's not me. It's the whole horseback end. How are you okay with fucking a horse, Paul? Just just gotta throw that out there. Because that's what it comes down to. That's why the divide. That I've had people approach me before, Clee. I am not against looking at somebody's um goddamn, it's not profile, collection of art, and I can't think of what it's called right now. Portfolio. But again, I have had a very hard time finding people who can give me good art, who can follow the prompt correctly, and will do it at a reasonable price. So, hey, hey, why are you doing that? I know you want me to go to bed and lay down so you can cuddle me. Come here. Come get on camera. This is our plushy princess, the less than 6 pound old lady. You scratching my chair. I know it's time for bed. I know you want your cuddles. I know. What books do you have on your bookshelf? Mine. All of those are mine. All the ones piled down over there on the floor, you can hang on there. Those are all mine. Those are all signed too. If I get the right information, I'll be bringing all of these to Denver with me. Some of them will probably be thrown into a auction if they haven't, and otherwise I'll probably be seeing about doing some kind of giveaway for the rest of them. Coming to Denver is probably going to be a good idea for some people. That's my bookshelf, which is the one with all the books on it. The one over there is my girlfriend's bookshelf, which has figures and dolls and stuff on it more than anything else. Most of her books are across the room, and then there's more out in the living room. But those are all my books because I would like a copy of my books. I am very very proud of the 60 plus books I've written. I think it was 60 last I checked. 60, 61, something like that. I am very proud of that. It has been, it'll be 9 years this October. And by the time October comes around, I'll have published another one or two. Let's see, June, August, October. I'll publish another three. So I'll be, I think, 64 ish in 9 years. Pretty good. Pretty good. I'm very proud of it. So they're all mine. And guys, I have caught up on all your questions. We are we are questionless. So if you have any last minute ones, go ahead and get them in. I'll give you a minute. I will go ahead and let you know that next month it's going to be on Father's Day. It's the 15th. It's a Sunday. It's going to be at 2 p.m. Pacific. So do the math. Or look at Discord, which I believe has the event already scheduled. In fact, I'll click my Discord and bring it up. Is the next live chat. Doot. Shinhofen Books, Clicky. That. Oh, we don't have it made. I'll have to make one then. cool. I will be making the events for June and July for the next couple of live chats. Probably tomorrow when I am not brain dead. And do make sure to check your whispers here on Twitch in the next, day or two. 5 people pulled at random from the list of people who gave me things to talk about will be selected. I will whisper you. My name here will whisper you. And I will ask for just a couple of pieces of information. What coin you want, what your shipping address is. And if you get me those things in a timely manner, then sometime in the next week, I will have shipped a coin out to you. That's it. Simple, easy. Also, make sure to go over to Facebook and Discord if you're on those two. Join in on the giveaways there if you would like more chances of coins or possibly even one of the few red shirts. Because I give out 2 red shirts in May and I give out 2 red shirts in October. That's it. So, and no, Frank, because nobody really loves the Irby. It's a trash Mac. It's a trash can. Look at it. And I don't want to completely plagiarize something like an Irby. Everyone will know if I talk about a trash can with a really big gun. It's obvious what it is. I ship everywhere in the world. Just be aware that since it is shipped from here to the country that you're in, they very well might ask you to pay what the hell, because it goes through customs. And I can't think of what it is that customs might ask you to pay a fee when it arrives in your country, depending. Some countries yes, other countries no. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Because I've had them go through in Germany just fine. I've had other times somebody in Germany told me that when they got down there, they were like, "Yeah, it's gonna be another $12 if you want this." So I will ship it. But if there's a fee when it gets to you, that's going to be up to you. So, but that is a very good question, Eddie. Nope, not answering that. I have not played Magic the Gathering in like nearly 30 years. Yeah. Back when Ice Age and 4th edition were a thing. Was it 4th edition? I remember Ice Age. Back in my day. Yeah. I haven't played it since then. And I don't feel like paying hundreds of dollars for cards again because I don't have any of my old decks. They all vanished, died, or something else way back. I had a black deck that I loved, and when it mysteriously disappeared, I stopped playing. So, I think that's it, guys. So make sure to check back here, and we'll see you next time. So, bye.